Ready?
Yep.
Are you two ready? I said try it. Call the meeting order, clerk, please call the roll.
Burgess.
Here.
Ford.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Poskett.
Here.
Washington. Here. Williams. Here.
Item number 2, an ordinance for prohibiting the private use of groundwater is, sorry about that. Use of groundwater within a maximum setback is the area. Oh, you did that. Yeah, I think it's setback. Is that better? Setback zone areas. Here before you tonight, ordinance again, this was passed off by the attorneys. And again, this is one of the requirements for the IEPA on the wells that we're having, done with the new permanent air strippers and all that. This sets a area around those wells that no one can have wells or any portable groundwater, if you want to say. It does not affect anyone who currently has wells. It's that no new wells can be dug around our wells. There's a setback, and again, it's all part of, this increases ordinance is additional to the requirements by the IEP. Anyone have any questions on this one? All right. Has any trustees been out to look at all the work that's being done?
Yeah.
So, we're coming right along. We're just waiting for this additional stuff to come in. Right now, they're doing some other little groundwork, getting things done, but once those air strippers come in, there's going to be moving pretty fast. So, this will be on the agenda next Tuesday night. So, anyone have a comment on the consent agenda? Okay. All right, move to item number 3, cost savings initiatives. What's your motion?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to know what is the procedure for me to invite some developers and some people that's interested in bringing business to South Village. When they come to the committee, the hall is presented to the board and the mayor.
They would, but what we probably should do is let's make sure we meet with them. If you know them, if you'll bring them, let's meet you and I with them first. Find out exactly what are they looking for, where do they want to locate, what do they need from South Village, so that before we bring someone to the board, we know if we can work with a potential developer, potential business coming to South Village.
Okay, well, I'm very excited because I have quite a few developers and entrepreneurs that want to come to South Village. So I've been talking with them, so I'll be getting with you after the meeting, maybe later on this week to set those meetings up with you with them.
Good. Yes, definitely. Got a lot going on, so. Anyone else? Trustee Myers?
Do we own the old piece of land, or is it, if I remember right, the county type of back taxes, right?
We don't own it.
We don't own it.
No.
Right. Do we still, the property over there by the bowling alley?
We own it.
We own that property, right now?
We own the old bowling alley, comes across, we own the old gas station property, that, of course, neither one of the buildings are there anymore. That's South Village property.
So I'll have a gentleman calling you regarding, building and
All right. Sounds good. Anyone else?
Just wanted to mention, Mayor, I did get the lawyers' bills, but these were already paid, so I talked to them, and they were going to be doing the bills after September. And so, current, there was some redundancies on these, but we paid them already, so I've asked them to give it to me prior to the payment.
Well, again, if you find any redundancy, let's make sure we get it right, or we fill the redundancy. Let's present it to them, and they can debit bill us on going forward on further invoices. I've got no problem with that. I'm sure they don't either if there is, again, it happens, but it's what's important. So, anyone else? What's the question?
This might be redundant, but I want to know, is there some kind of way we can get a map of the available land where people can build businesses and have businesses built? I know we have tips in other areas where people can only build in certain things. But is there some kind of map that we can get? So when I'm talking to people before we have a meeting with you, I can let them know this, that's the prime locations that we have. And if you want to bring a business or you want to build a business, these are some of the areas you could possibly come to. I do have some people who want to come take some tours through the village, some of the developers, some people I've been talking to, so I'm gonna meet with them, and we're gonna ride around and see. I need to know where they can and can't put businesses.
Yeah, definitely. We've got some maps, and Gary's got the, is that the presentation we gave? So were you at the presentation for the Chicago Southland Economic Development? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got that presentation. Gary's nice enough to print some up in color copies or black and white, doesn't matter. But that whole entire presentation, he has, in that presentation, shows areas of Sauk Village that are open up for development. That are either up for sale or it spells it right out between village-owned properties and ones that are up for sale. Any other questions? All right, got a couple things we're going to talk about. First of all, I'd like to introduce our new owners for excellence, right?
Yes, sir.
So, and if I have this right, you're looking to open up April
23rd.
April 23rd. So I'd like to introduce everyone to our new owners for the restaurant. Everyone members as round of
Nice to be here. Thank you for the opportunity for giving us to come to town. We are opening Wednesday, the 23rd. We're going to be sending out some flyers. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, my name is Paul Fusis, Emalia Kalangis. We're going to be sending out some flyers and some promotional items so everybody can be aware of it. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity to allow us to be in town.
Can I get your last name again, please?
I'm sorry?
Spell your last name for me.
Kousis.
Thank you.
I think what's important too is this isn't your first business. You have other restaurants.
Yeah, we've been running business since 1978. So.
Welcome to Sauk Village. We got to talk a little bit yesterday, so
Sounds good.
thank you for coming to the board meeting tonight.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the opening up.
Thank you.
All right. Real quick, Trustee Burgess brought up about our lobbyists. So what we have here, that's around, I don't think I remember that right. Kind of give you a little update on what our lobbyists are doing for us in Springfield. Talk about some of the issues that are happening in Springfield. Again, they are not getting enough out of it. These are current issues that they're working on. We have, this is the mid-session report. They're going to be providing us with an in-session report. And if you look at the last page, we're going to get some dates, either in June or July. We're not here to give the board an entire update. But one of the things that is important is coming up in the next session is capital bills. The governor's already talking about capital bills. They are there with our plans for capital bills. We provide them two separate projects that we have for Sauk Village. One's for approximately $1.9 million, that's for street repairs. The other one is for approximately $5.3 million that they are approaching the governor for. That is everything from putting loops in, which I know that's one of your spots. So we want to make sure we put loops in. Again, additional infrastructure repairs. So they have those in their hand. We gave them white pages. White pages consist of a summary of the work that we want done, the cost it's going to for the job, and along with photos. So our lobbyists have that in their hands. They're up there talking to our state representatives. I saw O.G. Sims the other night, and he's already just talking to him. He said, I saw your lobbyist, he's already on me. He goes, we've got your back. So that's important knowing that our state reps have already talked to him and they know what we need. So along with our lobbyists, we've also sent all these white pages to all of our state reps. So they have these white pages also. We're going to continue staying in front of their face. On April 30th, I'll be in Springfield. And we have a good day in Springfield with IML, with South Square Mayor's Managers. We're going down with them for a lobbyist day. We have a lunch with the governor, the mayors do. So at least a meeting at lunchtime with the governor, so I don't know if we're going to be eating, but again, staying in front of the governor. And the governor hasn't come across yet on where the money's going to come from, but he's been pretty adamant about there's going to be projects and there's going to be money in the capital bill for municipalities. So we're working on that. They also have the grants that we applied for. We applied for a $50,000 grant for repairing B boxes and jetting out. And we feel pretty confident we're gonna get that. Once we get that, we're gonna start moving forward on getting these fixed. We're gonna start working on a priority list on the houses that owe the most money and working our way down. So, we'll get these B boxes fixed, get the water turned off, and get people to start coming in and pay their bills. So that's important to the village. We just applied for a $25,000 grant. I just finished signing all the paperwork, sitting on my desk. That goes to our lobbyists. That goes to our state reps, let them know that we applied for it. That is for repairing and replacing fire hydrants around Sauk Village. So again, prioritizing, where we need to make sure we have the most. And we feel pretty confident we'll get the $25,000 grant. We still keep our fingers crossed and we're hopeful. So we're out there, we're applying for the grants. We are making sure our state reps have it in their hands and making sure our lobbyists have it in our hands, so that when they're up in Springfield, they're up there every single day they're in session, that they're talking to not only our state reps, but other state reps that will help our community when it comes time for a vote. So, again, trying to give you a little bit of what they've been working on. We're dealing with mayors, managers. I know probably one of the biggest things they've been talking about is gambling expansion. Right now, before the governor, there's a bill that's coming from the state representative, Rita. They're looking at putting in a state-controlled casino in the city of Chicago with anywhere from 4,000 to 10,000 employees. Again, the Southborough Mayors and Managers is pushing that part of that bill has to include a casino in the south suburbs. So it's one of the big things that they're talking about back and forth in Springfield. And I think just looking at the bill, a lot of people are talking, they think Chicago is looking to oppose it anyway, but Chicago wants to have their own casino. They want to be in control of it. This does not put Chicago in control, it puts the state of Illinois in control of the casino. So, I'm trying to think if there's something else that kind of stuck in my mind. Economic development, that's important. Talk to our lobbyist. He's also not only lobbyist for municipalities, he also works for many businesses. So he's out there pitching Sauk Village for us. Let them know, number one, we have a great industrial site, that there's anyone looking to move. And we kind of did a look at the map on where key locations would be for certain businesses. So everything from, if we wanted another gas station, what would be a key location for a gas station? What would be a key location for a restaurant? What would be a key location for hotels, things like that? So again, looking at Sauk Village, what type of businesses would fit best in Sauk Village? And they also looked at some of our current businesses. And is there a way that they can bring something else in that would fit the village in current locations if something else needs to be enhanced or improved or renovated? So they are working on economic development also for Sauk Village. Everything everyone's going to talk about is minimum wage. Just had to, IEPA, just so the board knows, just had to approve. Everyone knows that at the federal level, the president increased the minimum wage for federal grants and federal workers and things like that. Everyone's aware of that, right? That happened about a week or two ago. I just got a paper across my desk. Our IEPA loan, we had to do an adjustment to it because of that mandate by the president. And the IEPA approved it. So that's where we're at on that also. I mean, that wasn't had nothing to do with us changing the job orders. That was a mandate coming from the president of the United States. But other than that, again, we have some reading material. We'll get them before us around June or July. A lot will depend on when session ends. They're expecting session to go all the way through the end of May this year. So they're looking at a lot of things happening. A lot of things slowed down during the first part of the session. And that's because everyone was waiting to go through primaries and make sure they got back in office. So now the primaries are over, now they're looking at getting more work done. So, any questions? All right, well, we should give everyone an update on what we're doing, and then we're going to keep our eye out there. I just passed off another grant to the police chief to see if he wants to apply for it. It's another grant for bulletproof vest. So I pass that off to the chief to see if we need any additional. All right, any other questions? All right, move to item number 4, public comments. All questions, comments must be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may be given 3 minutes to comment on topics of their choice. Each speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. If you have anything, please come to the podium. And I'll move pretty quick. I'll keep your mic's on. Can you push that button? Is that on? Okay. Sorry.
I didn't hear what you said as far as the grant for the police department, what that was for,
That's for bulletproof vest. Bulletproof vest.
for the men.
Correct.
Okay. I haven't heard for a while, but a while back, we were talking about the marijuana for medicinal purposes, and we had to do something. And I haven't heard any more about that. Thank you for the information on the lobbyists. That's good information. Thirdly, I wanted to remind everybody about the Easter egg hunt this Saturday at the community center from 1 to 3. The P.L.A.N group is working in conjunction with the Parks and Recreation. We're good to go. The horses are ready to go. The Easter bunny's ready to go. The face painter's ready to go. We have all of our eggs, all of our baskets, and we're ready to go. So we're hoping to see everybody out there Saturday from 1 to 3. Also, the bunny will be available for the families to take pictures with their kids if they want to.
The marijuana, everyone remembers before the governor even signed it, we were preparing for a potential his marijuana distribution facilities, things like that. So everything went before the zoning board. My mind goes right through. I think everything's already been back for the board. We already approved everything. So, yeah, but was it about a month ago? So everything went before the zoning board. The zoning board set locations where facilities like that can go within Sauk Village limits. Came back for the village board. The village board went with the advice of the zoning board, and it was passed. But I don't have the ordinance number before me, but we can get that for you. And then definitely Easter egg events this Saturday will be a day that parents and volunteers will be running from place to place, and I expect kids to be bouncing off the walls by Saturday night, and the dentists are going to levy by Monday morning, because we have the P.L.A.N and Parks and Recs is having the Easter egg event here at the Village Hall, which you just got been talking about, from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, right? So we want you to start here. That's important. Tell your neighbors about it. Tell everyone about it. Come here. And then from there, you can go down the street to Torrance Avenue. Sauk Village Church of God, they're having their Easter egg hunt from 2 to 4. And then if you still feel energetic, you can shoot out to Culver's. And they're having their first annual Easter egg hunt from 2 to 4 at Culver's. So I think the kids are going to be full of candy before the end of the day. So again, I would thank the P.L.A.N and the Parks and Recs on behalf of the village and on behalf of the mayor for putting this event on. This is a great event for the youth in our community. So thank you very much. So, yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Carol Fry, and I'd like some information. I live at 3015 225th Street, about 2 blocks away from a small little park. And often I involve my grandkids to the park, but the park doesn't have any benches. And I was wondering if it would be a problem to put benches in the park. And also, it's a platform for a basketball rim, but there's no rim there. And it would be a problem to maybe put a basketball rim and give the youth in our community somewhere to go on nice days, instead of standing on the corner or, hanging out somewhere on the block. It'd be nice if they had a basketball rim so that they could play ball instead of hanging up in front of the mall. So I was bringing that to your attention. It'll be very nice if you had benches to sit on.
What street did you say again?
It's like, 3140, Eastern Street,
Oh,
right,
no.
by Brookwood.
Okay.
Oh, Murphy Park.
It's over by the roof.
It's
No,
a small little-
that was the tennis court, that's what it was.
Right.
Okay, well, it would be a nice place for basketball. Or
Again,
tennis court, anything, get our kids involved.
Did you say there's no benches, but there's a new swing set there?
Yes, it is, but no benches.
Looks like here.
Right across the street.
yeah. All right, we'll see, we've got two extra benches, extra. So let's see, John Poston is the director, chair of the Parks and Recs, so I'll find out about that. When it comes to basketball courts, South Village at one time had basketball courts all through there, and we had a lot of problems on the basketball courts. We've moved, we have an outside basketball court behind us, which makes it safer for the kids because we have the police department here. We also have the basketball inside the community center. In fact, this year, the Parks and Recs not only just had a winter basketball program, they're having a summer basketball program. So, I think maybe we might look at it, but again, with the problems we had in the past with the basketball courts being on the outskirts, we had a lot of problems that made it very unsafe for families like yours to be able to go to those parks.
Well, now, we have, like the community watch, neighborhood watch, and I am one of the captains, and I will volunteer my services to walk around and make sure that everything is okay. And if it's a problem, I will call the police. So I think that, because of the police, the community watch that we have now, it'll be better. We may not have the problems that we had in the past.
I'll talk to the trustee about it. All
Okay.
right, thank you very much. Anyone else? Everyone knows that this last week was Rose's birthday. I won't say how old you were, but.
Well, everybody knows it's already on Facebook.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything, but since you mentioned, I want to thank everyone who did attend and for all the birthday greetings. I haven't gotten my feet back on the ground yet, but I will. I do, since she did mention something about benches and all that, I don't know if they took care of the benches over here, the basketball. One of the picnic tables was turned upside down by the basketball court. Then there was another one in the water. And I don't know if that's been taken care of. I don't know if this is a vandalism from the kids playing the basketball or who's doing that. I mean, to have it in the middle of that wetland is a terrible thing. So they're even asking for, here it's by the police department, and yet they're doing destructive work like that.
I have trustee Hoskin out afterwards and take a look and maybe with the beautification and Parks and Recs to wait out in the water. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name is Jeffrey, between our house and Dr. Trail. And just recently we changed it from no parking to full street. And I just wonder why. For 30 years it's been parking on one side now, so we changed it.
Can she get your name for the record?
What's that?
Can she get your name for the record?
John Wyborn?
Okay, there you go.
John
Jeff-
Wyborn?
Thank you. Jeffrey Avenue, yes, it's no parking on both sides going out to the fire department, and there's a reason for that. It's because, years ago that used to be blocked off. There used to be signs out there, and again, trying to get it safe. What we were seeing was fire trucks would try to get to Sauk Trail, people would try to pull in, there'd be cars parked along the side. Again, that is a fire lane and an area so that we make sure that our fire trucks can get out safely, and it gives cars also the ability to get out of the way as the fire trucks leave. So that's one of the main exits to get out to Sauk Trail, get to our north side, get our east side, west side. That's where the fire trucks are going.
Okay, principal, where they park,
Uh,
That's a big problem.
again, I understand, but again, the safety of not only being able to get to an incident in a timely manner and safety of the residents or anyone driving to make sure they can get out of the way so our emergency vehicles can get through.
It's like 30 years, parking lot is flat. That's why I also decided to change it.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right. Move to miscellaneous business, comments from trustees. How is it start with? Trustee Myers, you got the mic right there. Trustee Washington. That's it, trustee. Oh, I'll take that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I just want to say happy birthday to my co-trustee right here, Jeff. More than happy birthday today, it's his birthday. And I also want to say that I'm happy that the Block Club captain over there at Brookwood came today and was getting involved. I'm really happy to see that we talked about that in our meeting that we had last night. So hopefully we'll be having more people coming out and talking to the mayor and the board and addressing their concerns. We do have 2 new Block Club captains. I went over on Carroll today and I talked to some residents over there and was able to secure 2 new Block Club captains on Carroll. So I'm very excited about that with the Neighborhood Watch. I also wanted to ask Mayor, what do I need to do to be able to get from the night deposit box right out here in the front of the parking lot on May the 3rd back empty so that we can shoot the video out there? I can talk to you about that later if I need to. But that's something that we need to have a video shot that day. And I was going to bring up the marijuana garden, but you answered my question about that. And I wanted to know, did we make a decision about the electronic dumpsters? I have some residents that want to know where they can put TVs and electronic things like that. You ought to go through all my 3 minutes before you answer if you don't wait. Keep going. Keep going. I also want to know who is responsible to blacktop these parking lots, like behind Popeyes, that parking lot back there. And did they do Fairway? I think they did some of Fairway. But the different parking lots, and I know streets do the potholes that's on the streets, but we've had some streets like Jeffrey, going up by those apartment buildings to the library, and then coming from 223rd Street. What is the street? The fire station. That's Jeffrey too. There's a lot of potholes right there. A lot of residents have been talking about they're getting deeper and deeper. And I know they've been busy. It snowed yesterday. Unbelievable. But if we could get those potholes looked at, I have quite a few concerns about those. Also, I would like to know the volunteers that want to work with the Neighborhood Watch program. The incident that happened over on Carroll this weekend with the shooting, and the stabbings, and the fires. Some people are interested in being deputized, or volunteers to assist. I don't know what the procedure and the process is for that, but it's too many people asking, so I told them I can bring it up at the board meeting tonight. They want to know if they can volunteer help. Not just listening to scammers, but as far as what could they do to jump in and to help. And that concludes my comments for now. Thank you.
All right, do it here, May 3rd, shoot me an email or a text, okay, whatever is easier for you. And I'll ask them to move their cars. You just need it over this side right here, right? Okay, so we'll ask everyone to park on this side of the building on May 3rd. The recycle trailer, which we were working with, we had someone come to the village board, we were going to bring one in. That individual that came before the board no longer works there. I know Trustee Costin been working very hard on trying to get one for the Parks and Recs. So, are they coming out to look at it again, or are they?
We're supposed to send somebody out to check to see what area we decided.
Yeah, we had,
We had
yeah.
2 different locations and both got depot.
Right.
So now I suggested a new spot. A new spot for them, and they're going to come out and we're going to have to measure out to see if it'll fit there or not. Gary has worked with the police department to help secure the location over here by the dumpsters. They've got to make sure they have a truck. It's not actually a truck, it's like a
True. So, yeah.
container, that's the right word. And they come and empty it out, whatever we call it. So it's in the process, they have sent us a new contract and everything, so
Yeah, because what we did was, the first time we brought it to the board, it was gonna be pretty much handled by Public Works, and, Public Works didn't have the time to do it, so everything's being turned over to Parks and Recs. Parks and Recs is gonna run the program and use their volunteers. So, they'll be the ones that's doing it, but, see if you can get us an update for the next committee meeting, and let us know where you're at on it. Parking lots, those, the property owners are responsible for their own parking lots, especially when you talk about over behind Popeyes, you talk about Fairway. It's the property owner's responsibility to make sure they keep their parking lot themselves up to date. You talked about potholes. Just so the board knows, we applied for I want to say, $400,000 for road repairs through the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG. I don't think those acronyms mixed up, but that is to repave Jeffrey Avenue, if I remember right, from almost like Sauk Trail all the way to Peterson, and then Peterson along the backside, because Peterson along the backside is really bad. It's pretty much like gravel now, because the winter was really rough on that road. So we applied for, I think it was like about $400,000, so we'll see how much money we get, and then that will depend on how much roads we can do. Potholes, there was a e-alert today talking about potholes, and I'm not gonna quote it because I don't remember it, so, but the Public Works Department did put out an e-alert today talking about potholes, so we do know it's an issue, and they are addressing them as we can. I can tell you though, the roads that we're going to redo this coming summer, they're probably not gonna put a lot of patch in those roads, because we use that patch somewhere else on the one, and we know those roads are gonna be redone. So that's where we're at on that. This last thing we'll talk about is this last weekend we had some incidents. I know there's a lot of people talking about it, there's a lot of people wanting to know what happened. All I can tell you that is whenever there's an incident, the village stance is there will be an official statement from the department head. This was a police matter and a fire matter. So we had a couple incidents that dealt with the police, we had one incident that dealt with the fire department. I know some residents were asking why they didn't receive an e-alert. This is not something that the e-alerts were set up for. The e-alerts were not set up to give people minute-by-minute plays on what's happening. The e-alerts were set up to make sure that we provide the residents with accurate information. And part of that accurate information comes from a news release from the department head or from an official statement coming from this village. Once we have something like that, you'll probably see an e-alert come out with that information. Okay? But it's important to realize that the village is not jumping on to inform every time there's something little that happened. This was major. I'm not putting it down. The e-alerts were not set up to give minute-by-minute plays. Again, the e-alerts are not set up that way also because the police department, you've got police department, you've got ESDA, you've got fire department, whatever it is, if it's a police incident or fire incident, you know, we don't want bystanders going into a scene. Again, we talked about safety earlier tonight about Jeffrey Avenue. You know, you have a major fire, if they have to call for additional fire trucks, we don't want those fire trucks to be held because people are trying to drive their car to a fire to find out what's happening. Because you got so many people that want to go see what's happening. We want to make sure that fire trucks can get to scenes. We want to make sure if additional police officers have to be called out, that they get to the scene. We want to make sure that our safety, Homeland Security, our ESDA out there are in a safe manner. They're not constantly having to tell people to go away, but they're making sure that the scene is safe. So I would assume, and I'm pretty confident that the chief will probably come out with a prepared statement this next week. Remember, these are still under investigation. There's nothing the village should talk about. You can't get any information out on these as long as there's an investigation going on. Because, again, we are a municipality, and if things end up going to court, we don't want anything to jeopardize a case because of something that was put out by this village or by anyone on this board. So that's what's important. So we'll look for the press release from the chief this next week. And if you feel that it's acceptable, we'll make sure that the village clerk gets the information. We'll send an e-alert. And again, think about any other communities. Chicago had a very rough weekend this last weekend also. You didn't hear the city of Chicago talking about every single thing that happened. City of Chicago, just like every other municipality, will come out and say, there were so many incidents this last week, there were so many arrests made. You know, they're not gonna give you all the data. We're not going to give it. So, again, it saddens me that we had some incidents this last week. My prayers go out to the families. And, but again, this is something we have not been talking to this board about. Every community right now is talking about the potential of increased crime because the winters were so bad this last year. The criminal elements were all locked up in their houses, stoved up because of the cold weather, because of the snow. And we had one nice day this last summer. We had one nice day this last weekend, and they all came out in force. So, and when you have that many people come out in force, you know, sometimes things happen. So, yes, okay. But again, I ask for everyone, you know, hopefully your prayers are going out to the families that were affected also, because they are our village residents. You know, they're our neighbors, the ones that were affected. So, I know the trustee Washington, you got one more thing you want to talk about?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, trustee Watson? Okay. I wanted to make an announcement to the elected officials. I'm a member of Family Christian Center, and my pastor, Pastor Stephen Muncie, we host a play every year entitled Jesus of Nazareth, Passion of Christ. And I'm on behalf of the pastor. He wanted me to invite you, Mayor, and the Board of Trustees and elected officials to come to the play this coming Friday night at Family Christian Center, a complimentary ticket from him. You can let me know if you want to go. I have also reached out to other municipalities. I have over 50 elected officials from Linwood, Harvey, Chicago Heights that have responded that they want to go, mayors, clerks, aldermen, trustees that want to go. So if you want to go, I need your name and your title. This secretary will meet us in front of the pastor's office at 7 and escort us in, and they'll acknowledge that we're there, and we'll be able to see this play and just feel that we serve the community and we serve the residents. This is something that the Lord put on his heart to share with the elected officials. People come from Indianapolis and Wisconsin, bringing buses of youth and different ones to come and to see this great production during Easter. So I wanted to make sure that I let my own municipality know that you've been invited to come free of charge. So let me know if you're interested in going tonight, so I can reveal your name. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Wharton?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things to touch on. First of all, the Beautification Committee on May 17th is going to do a cleanup day. I'll get more details when the committee irons all those out, but we will be looking for volunteers for the day to help out clean up our community. Also like to say, it's not just that day. We should always, every day, go out and try to beautify our own yards, our community, and you know, if you see something on the ground, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but you know, pick it up, throw it in the garbage. Myself and my wife, I'm not trying to give myself a pat on the back, we went out along Sauk Trail, the old round the clock, and we just went out there for, I don't know, not even 15 minutes with my own personal trash can, and I went out there and I picked up beer bottles and everything like that, and it looks better. It looks better. People are actually honking the horns and waving, and because, you know, we care. We also did buy the marquee as well. So pick up a garbage can, walk down your block, pick up the trash, throw it away. The Beautification Committee also is going to be having a yard sale. It's going to be basically across the street from where Do It Best is. It's going to be June 14th. There will be a rain day on June 21st. Village clerk, we need a resolution, according to what the gentleman told me from the state. So we can get that put on the agenda to get a resolution for that. Also to inform the public and the board, past Thursday there was a truck enforcement class. I participated in a truck enforcement program. It was an 8-hour, it was a refresher course. Basically, it was for officers that are drug enforcement officers, for continuing ed, to basically new laws, anything that changed. I reached out to the organization, told them what I'm looking to do in the municipality, and I want to do it the right way. I want to do it the legal way. So the individual, even though I'm not an officer, invited me out there at no cost to the municipality. I went to this event, went through the class, and the actual instructor actually gave me a test to take, even though I'm an officer, don't know a whole bunch about it, but surprisingly enough, I actually passed the exam. So, again, I'm not a truck enforcement officer, even though that they give me a nice little pen to put on my coat, but I'm very much more aware of what the truck enforcement officers can do. There is revenue that can be brought in by this municipality, and I think it's really going to help us out a lot when we get this program up and running. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Trustee Sebastian.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just going to touch on a few things. The P.L.A.N. Cracker Jacks Easter program, again, is this Saturday. I just wanted to mention that. I just want to give you a basic plan on that already. It's on my key. So, everybody, more than happy to have you all come out. The summer program has a basketball program, a cheerleading program is going through registrations right now. I'm up there every Saturday trying to register kids from noon to 2. Plus, they can come in and register anytime that the community center is open. Robin can take care of that for them. So there's plenty of opportunity to help get the word out for that. Next game day, family game day will be May 2nd at 6 o'clock at the community center. I also like to say happy birthday to Jeff. And this Friday, we'll be having the first fundraiser at the corner of South Trail and Torrance. We'll be out there with our little buckets trying to collect money for the fireworks. So if anybody wants to come by and give a hand, we'll be out there at 6 a.m. in the morning. So I'm looking for any help in the morning and again at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So any help would be appreciated. We can expand out a little bit if we need to, but we'll be out there. I just got to get the best. So it's all planned out, ready to go. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's this Friday.
Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I hate to be a downer, but I did ask the question, and I just wanted to know, I was told I had to ask it out here, when are we going to be assessed the levy for the bonds? When is that going to happen? Is it next month, or is it going to be in July? Can we find out? Yeah, because we need to know, so we can know what our next tax, so I think it's right before we have the next tax, I just want to make sure. Find out. That's all I have.
Trustee Land.
I just again wanted to thank everybody for Student Government Day, and I wanted to talk about the fact that we started someone you should get to know, and I think that it's something that is important to the Public Relations Committee that we continue that. So I would like to ask the trustees or the residents if there's somebody that you think that would be someone that the village as a whole should get to know. I would encourage you to submit a letter of that person's resume, so to speak, who they are, why you think that there's somebody that Saco should get to know, and if you would please submit that to the Public Relations Committee. And we would like to definitely highlight some of the superstars of Sauk Village. And again, I would just like to say in closing that this Friday is Good Friday, Easter is on Sunday, and tonight ends Passover. So for everybody, happy holidays, happy respective holidays, and just remember the reason for the season, and I hope everybody has a safe weekend.
The summer, you should know, I think that is awesome, that is a wonderful idea. Are you just gonna do it one time for one person, or will you be doing it like monthly or quarterly, or?
I would like to do it when the Sock Talk comes out. The Sock Talk is bi-monthly, so it's something that we've talked about a couple different times, wanting to highlight each issue. Somebody you should get to know. So if anybody submits anything, then as a board, we can kind of, if we get 5 for the next Sock Talk, that's great. If we've got some spare room, we can put individuals in, and as a committee, we can talk about if we're gonna do 1 a month, or maybe 2 a month, it's gonna depend on what we get. So it's kind of like Sock Talk articles. I'm always asking people to submit Sock Talk articles. If you have some, like, all we're gonna do is their statistics. Who is it, what's going on, and then as a committee, we can kind of decide when they're gonna go out.
Did you say anybody can submit that to you? Residents can submit it to you?
If
Okay.
they,
Cool, that's cool.
Alrighty, let's see, we'll go through this real quick here. Trustee Morton, I'd like to thank you and your wife for, I drove by when you were out there cleaning, so they did a fantastic job. In fact, I think by the time I got back, you were back here cleaning the park up. So, thank you very much. We got a call with the Boy Scouts this year, are looking to do some projects, so we're looking forward to that. I'd like to thank the Housing Authority, especially Gary Hogan. We had the opportunity to pick up 5 youth, and it's kind of different this year. Usually we get the youth to come in and help us inside our municipal building, or to help us inside the police department, help us inside the fire department. This year, all summer help is for outside work, so it's a little different this year. So we applied for 5, and Gary has volunteered with him and the Housing Authority, and he's also looking for additional volunteers. So if you're looking for something to do during the day, we'll be getting these 5 individuals. They will be doing everything from picking up garbage to painting curbs. We'll see if we can do some painting of some fire hydrants. There's just a lot of work to be done. So again, I'd like to thank Gary for taking time and for volunteering so that we get these young people and so they can be working. I think it's Bloom Township, right? So we got to Bloom Township. So thank you very much. Again, happy birthday, Jeff. I know we're keeping you because he was allowed to eat. His family's waiting for him, so I got about 2 more pages worth of stuff to go through. Somebody should know, thank you for bringing that up again. This is something we need to keep on going. It's a great thing for our community. It brings key people in our community, pillars in our community. Our first one we did was Mr. Griffin, a pillar in our community that's been here for years. So we're looking forward to that. The other thing too, though, public relations, I'd like for you to start looking at something we haven't done in a long time, is recognizing past elected officials, that we should have some street signs out there. And, I think about it every so often, but, former Mayor Beckham, mayor for quite a few years, should have been recognized his street at least. He went, I think, 3 terms. So we need to make sure that we start looking at some of these past elected officials.
We've got a list together that we put together last year, and we were just talking kind of about cost and signs and things like that. So at our next meeting, we can definitely address that.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the board know where we are, because we're also looking at the sign that used to hang in the old village hall. It was brought over here, but it was never put up as far as the elected officials and their dates. There's a few that need to be added, and there's a few that, and it's not a lot, but we're looking with Kevin too to see what the cost would be with those, to get that up, get that out, so we can kind of just move on.
Good. All righty. Next thing I'd like to say is, again, I'd like to welcome our new owners to Sauk Village and remind everyone, the week after Easter, plan some time to go have something to eat. Like they do excellent, right?
Right.
Excellent. So looking forward to coming in there. And lastly, I also like to wish everyone a happy Easter and have a safe and happy Easter. Thank you very much. And I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn. Okay. Motion and second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.